I redeemed 150 stars on day 1 of the latest update, and sold everything just 3 minutes after the 7-day trade lock expired. So how much money did I make, or lose? And what about the other ways to profit from the Armory Pass? Is it really worth it? Let's break it all down. One of the ways people try to make money with the Armory Pass is by redeeming new items on day 1 of release, then selling them as soon as the trade hold ends while prices are still high. Well, I did exactly that, and what did I get with my 153 hard-earned stars? I started with 17 Doctor Doom charms and pulled 14 blues and 3 purples. Then I moved on to 17 community charms and once again saw a sea of blues. 15 of them and just 2 purples. Finally, I spent my remaining stars on 51 community stickers and had a little more luck on my side with 40 blues, 7 purples, 3 pinks and 1 red. Based on the unboxing odds, I calculated the expected results, keeping in mind the charms cost 3 stars each. Overall, I'd say I just barely beat the expected values. At $15 per pass, I spent a total of $56.61 to obtain the 153 stars I began with. So the big question is, did I actually make any money? Before we continue, this video's sponsor, SkinSwap, is giving you a skin worth up to $50 entirely for free whenever you do your first trade and use my referral code. If you want to refresh your loadout, you can trade your skins for brand new ones in just a couple of seconds. Plus, if you want to purchase cheap skins directly, they accept deposits via crypto, MasterCard, and Visa, and since every item is already past the 7-day trade hold, you'll receive your skins instantly. If you need to cash out, SkinSwap makes that simple too with instant sell options to PayPal or crypto. On top of that, they run free daily, weekly, and monthly giveaways with the chance to earn extra tickets simply by trading. Use my link or referral code for a 3% lifetime sales bonus and a free skin worth up to $50. Big thanks to SkinSwap for supporting the channel. You can see here I sold all of my items on day 1, the 9th of October, for a grand total of $42.47, about a 25% loss. And if we look at the market now, prices have already fallen off a cliff even just a day later. So if I'd been even slightly late to sell or happened to be busy on the day the update came out, it would have been even worse. Clearly, this strategy didn't really work out in my favor. However, I do think that if the update had included a new case, a more desirable skin collection, or even better received sticker designs, prices could have been much higher. That said, this method is no longer guaranteed profit like it might have been a few months ago, for example when the Fever and 2025 Train collections were first added. Many players have been farming stars for months, and some people literally have thousands saved up. Not to mention the bot farms, although Valve does seem to be cracking down on that more recently. So what other ways can you make money with the Armory Pass? Well, you can always redeem items from existing collections, and depending on how popular they are, you can still make solid, sometimes even guaranteed returns. Going forward, I think the best strategy is to focus on collections that are likely to be removed soon. Those tend to spike in value when players rush to redeem them before they disappear, and while we don't yet have a precedent, should gradually increase in value over time once removed, as supply dries up either through unboxings, sticker applications, or trade-ups. The best tool for this is CS2 which shows the current return on investment for each collection. The site hasn't been updated for the new collections yet, but before the latest patch, every single collection was positive, meaning on average you made money no matter what you spent your stars on. But don't just look at the average ROI, look at value distribution too. For example, in the Sport and Field collection, the pinks and reds make up over 60% of the total value. That means unless you have thousands of stars to meet the statistical average, you'll need to get really lucky. Basically, you need to pull an M4 fade to come out ahead. On the other hand, the character craft stickers were actually the best value before they were removed. The purples were worth more on average than the pinks. That made them one of the most consistent options for profit without relying on pure luck. If your goal is consistent returns and minimizing risk, those kind of stats matter a lot. Earlier in the year, these ROIs were certainly nowhere near as high, and many even below 100%. So make sure you're keeping an eye on how prices evolve. It's also important to remember that the Armory system works completely different from traditional cases or operation collections. It requires both time and money, and since it's still relatively new, we didn't have much precedent for how Valve would manage it. Now that they've shown that they are willing to rotate collections out, investor interest has skyrocketed. prices across the board have increased as people try to get ahead of the next removal. On a side note, while everyone was focused on the collections being discontinued, the Fever case quietly rose to a $1.50 price point. Unboxing demand remains huge, and supply simply couldn't keep up. It will definitely cool off soon as more players see the price and try to get in on the action, therefore once again boosting supply. But there was definitely money to be made if you timed it right. That said, just because Valve removed the gallery case and graphic design collections about a year after their release, doesn't mean they'll do the same for the Fever case. In fact, with how poorly received some of the new collections have been, it's entirely possible those could be removed before older ones if demand stays low. Valve has made it clear they prioritize keeping the most profitable items in rotation, so don't be surprised if collections like Elemental Craft or Sport and Field stick around longer than expected. There's also another factor. The 2024 Overpass collection is almost guaranteed to get a souvenir package during the next major, now that Overpass has returned to the active map pool. That'll probably bring those prices down too. So is the Armory Pass really worth it? Honestly, if you play CS2 regularly and you don't have much money to invest, I'd say yes. You can absolutely earn some returns over time and maybe get lucky with a rare pull. But if you have a bigger budget and you don't want to grind out premier matches or debuffed Zeus kills, you can make more money with good market timing, patience, and a bit of luck. For me, at least 95% of my profits from Armory related items come from simply buying them directly, not redeeming stars. In fact, every redemption actively increases supply, which is counterproductive for long-term investors. So if you want to gamble a bit and see what you get, go for it. If you're patient and want to wait for the right collection rotation, that's also a solid play. Otherwise, buying smart on Steam or third-party sites like the ones linked in the description below is probably the best move. If you want my top recommendations on where to invest today, check out this video next. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, and take care of yourselves.